Hello and welcome, this is Ruth, and today I've got a beautiful new die set and two gorgeous new 3D embossing folders from Tonic, and I'm going to show you all sorts of different things that you can do with these. Now, the die set is called the MAJESTIC MOSAIC die set, and there are 8 dies in that. And if we have just a little look inside here, you'll see that we've got a sort of verso die here, this square one with no outside cutting edges, and then you've got a square die on its own. Then you've got a rectangle and a verso die with a beautiful little lattice in there, another smaller rectangle with a little pattern in there, and a beautiful little scalloped border die, and then this one actually cuts a slit in the card. So we've got all of those, and then these embossing folders are absolutely beautiful. This one is called the Pretty Petal Trellis. We'll just have a closer look at that. So we've got this area up here, and you can see that you could actually cut that out with this square die, and you can cut this piece out with the outer die here, and you can cut this smaller border out here with this small outside die here. So you can interchange lots of these. You can use the die set on its own, of course, and you can use the embossing folders on their own as well. This one then is called the Leafy Lattice, and I think that this one would make fantastic cards for maybe some of your male friends, people who love gardening and all that sort of thing. But I absolutely love embossing folders and don't really get to use them often enough because, well, Tonic really haven't brought out that many for quite a while. So I'm really glad to see that these are not just ordinary 2D but 3D embossing folders. They're really beautiful. So I have actually gone ahead, I think, in another video. These are videos are sort of one on top of the other at the moment, but you can see there, this is actually with the Rainy Days collection die set, and look at that beautiful embossed area on the back of that. Really gorgeous. So that's on some speciality card, and you can see the little pattern in the back there. And then this one is just to show you the beautiful little die, and I've actually used these two dies together here to create this little pattern, and it makes the really quick and easy little card. But you don't have to use them with those rainy day dies. You can just go through all of the dies you've got and have a little look. But I would advise you first of all just to take some different types of cardstock and go through your collection and see what you like best with it, because I'll just show you some I've done here. This is on Straightforward Craft Perfect. Have a little look at that. Isn't that so gorgeous? You could leave it the way it is, or you could buff some gilding wax. You could buff it with ink. All sorts of things you could put on the top just to raise that pattern up or make it look a little more prominent. But it's really beautiful. And then of course you've got the other side. This is obviously the preferred side, but you could use whichever side you like, and that comes from that one. I've used pearlescent card in that, and look at the finish off that. Isn't that really beautiful? Now these are 3D and they're Tonic card that I've used. I haven't sprayed any of these cards with water because I didn't need to, but you might find whatever die cutting machine you're using or whatever card you're using, you might find a little crack or something in the card when you run it through. Just try it again and spritz the back of it with a little drop of water, not very much, just a little drop, and that should rectify it. But I'm actually using a Tonic Tangerine, and I'm also using the raspberry plate and the green plate together. So I'm putting my card into the folder and then putting the folder through with those two plates, and that works really well. I've got some other bits and pieces here that I just want to show you before I carry on to make some cards. That's what that looks like in Satin Effect Mirror card. Isn't that really beautiful? And this one is Iridescent Mirror card. This is just plain white card here, and I've actually cut some other pieces with that. Vellum as well. Now that's Tonic's vellum as well, that's Craft Perfect, and I didn't need to spray that or add an extra shim in behind, but depending on what card or what vellum you're using, if you find that the vellum cracks a little bit, just put a tiny little thin shim of copy paper or something in the folder along with this, and that should rectify that. I have also used some washi tape because I think that gives a beautiful effect too. Now I'm not really dying about the effect that the darker card gives there, the darker washi tape gives, because you can't really see the pattern on it just as well. But I'll be making one with some washi tape with different colours in a minute or two. Don't forget, you can ink this. You can add lots and lots of different things. You can put ink on over the top, or you could put ink in here or on this side, depending what kind of effect. We're going to have a look at some of these and just really explore lots of things that you can do with this, because embossing folders and even this little die set here is just the basis that you can start off and use lots and lots of the stuff you've already got. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and leave me a little comment, and also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done that, and hit the notification bell. My affiliate links for everything I use will be down below in the description as well, so thanks very much to anybody who uses that as well. Now, I'm going to obviously have some photos at the beginning of the video, but don't forget to hold on to the end because you'll see lots more there as well too. I'm going to make a really simple card for my first one, and this is the piece that I showed you I embossed on the classic card there a wee while ago, and I've put some double-sided tape in the back, and obviously you could put glue or just whatever adhesive you want on it. I've put double-sided tape because I want to hold this ribbon in place, and I've got a piece here, and I'm just going to wrap it around here just in the center of this little area. And obviously if I'm going to stick that onto card, I'll need to put just a little bit of glue over the top of the ribbon here as well. So I'm just going to put a little bit there and a little bit there. I actually quite like double-sided tape on this because it means that you can kind of push the card down in all those raised up areas, and it looks really good. You don't have sort of edges where it's sitting up too much. Now, there we are. So you can go right along there. I absolutely love how you can just transform a piece of plain card into that. Isn't that just amazing? I've always loved that. Anyway, now I'm going to add that onto my card base, and just grab my glue here. Now I've gone to the beautiful new paper pads from Tonic. So there's the Whimsy Meadow and the Shabby Meadow paper pads. One's a 12 by 12 and one is a 6 by 6. And I've just fussy cut out the gorgeous little bird from that there, and I'm going to put it on here. Now you can see I've left this in just a little bit from the edge because I'm going to slip some ivy in at the back of that. But I've also taken the flower from the big set, the big paper pad as well, and I have fussy cut that, and I'm just going to add this on one 3D foam pads just around the outside edge here. And you don't actually need to take if you're using small pads, you don't even need to take the covers off the inside ones, so just there. And I might have to move it around a little bit, so I'm adding a little bit of glue as well, and that will go on there. Now I have taken a piece of ivy, and that is from the Entwining Ivy die set. I'm going to show it to you here. That's that one, and there's a small piece of ivy there, and I've got two bits of it here, and I'm not too sure. Do you know, that's lovely. Yeah, I'm just going to put it on here. Now I wouldn't normally cut the ivy in white, but I think that's really beautiful, so I'm just going to put it in there. And that's why I left the glue just in a little bit from the edge there, and I'm not going to put glue the whole way out to the edge of this because it just gives a little bit of extra dimension to it if part of that's sitting up. And yes, I'm going to this in behind the bird, and this one possibly just heading up the way over the top, and that is so pretty. Now I've got a little sentiment here, and this is from the Selection of Sentiments die set. I've actually just checked the website there before I cut these out, so they were available earlier whenever I was using them, so if you want to check them out if you don't have them, they're actually really good sets, so handy to have for all sorts of things. And I have cut the sentiment out in the beautiful, is that burnished rose or baroque rose? I think it's burnished rose. Yes, this is burnished rose card around here, and that's what I've cut the sentiment out with as well, and that's going on there on 3D foam pads. Look, that's a really easy card, so simple, but it's very striking, and it hasn't taken very long to do at all. Now I've got some of these dream drops, and you might have those, I'm not sure. These are Love Potion. I always check a little bit in case there's any air bubbles. We don't want that. And do you know, I was actually going to put them in the centers of the flowers, so I might just go ahead and do that. There. That's the card all finished there, and that didn't take a lot of effort at all, but it's actually that beautiful background that just makes that pop. And I think that's why it's so handy and such a great idea. Whenever you've got the embossing folders out, run quite a few bits of card through them and just keep them in a little stack, because once you come to make a card and you think it's going to look very plain and you just want to elevate that and make it look a little bit more, just give it a little bit more oomph, I would say, that is what's going to do it. It's going to pack a punch there with that beautiful embossing folder. I forgot I had actually already fussy cut a beautiful little butterfly there from the paper pad as well, so I've just popped that up on top of that beautiful flower. My next card then is a 5x5, just a little square card, and this is so simple. It's just a really quick card again. So I've cut some bubblegum pink. I've actually embossed this. Now it's actually better if you cut the card to slightly smaller than the inside. You know, you want to cut it the sort of size that fits in there before you put it through the die cutting machine to emboss it, because if it's sort of sticking out through the edges here, that's how you get a little ripple or a little sort of buckle in it. So if you cut it first and slip it in and then, wrong folder, but you know what I mean, and die cut that, then it can go, it'll be really lovely and smooth. You can see there, I don't waste anything. I was just trying this out, but I tried it out with too small of a die pad, an ink pad, and I got some ink on these areas here, but I'm going to be doing that in a moment or two as well. But this part is still good. I don't have to waste that, and I'm going to put that on there. Then I've used the beautiful little scallop die here, and this measures 4 centimeters across, just that little strip, and I put the scallop die on the top, turned it around and put it on the bottom, and that's going to go across there. This could not be any simpler. I then took the little embossed lattice area. I'm going to glue that on top of there, and another little sentiment from that other die set that I showed you, and that goes on there, and it's so quick and easy. It's just another one of those little cards that you want to make and keep in your stash so that you have it ready just whenever you need it. On my next card then, I'm going to use the washi tape. So I've cut a little square here, and I have gone from point to point because I want this to be sort of totally symmetrical this time, and I've put washi tape along there, and I'm just going to alternate this the whole way across the card. And then instead of cutting it off at the end, I'm going to tuck it in at the back, because I think with washi tape that keeps it a lot neater. So then when I've got all that panel ready, it will be ready to emboss. Turned out. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? If you're enjoying this, don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up too. But isn't the embossing really beautiful across those 2 stripes of washi tape? You could use all sorts of colours, you could use all sorts of things. You could put the washi tape on different card as well, and that is going to look so beautiful as a gorgeous little panel on top of your card. There's the finished card, and again it's very simple. I do want to show you how to make very quick and easy cards with this, but I have no doubt that in the future I'll be using those embossing folders and we'll do something a bit more intricate with it as well. But for now I just want to show you how easy it is just to use them to give a really lovely bit of impact to your card. So I've added a few little sequins on here and there through that, and then I actually just ran some washi tape across a piece of card, die cut it again, and took out the little centers of those stars and put them in there as well, just to tie the whole thing together. It's very quick and easy. The card would do a male or a female. If you wanted, you could add a couple of little flowers on afterwards if you knew who the card was for, but that's another little one to keep in your stash. Now I've taken the little die set, and I've actually just laid the dies on top of a 5x7 card up the front, so you have to leave this open to put it through the die cutting machine, otherwise you're going to attempt to cut through that as well, and that's going to be an awful mess. So put that one on, and this lovely low tack tape here is fantastic for that. That's the Craft Perfect die tape because it doesn't mark the card front at all. So I've done that. Once I got that one through, then I put this one through, and then the other one, just leaving a little gap in between each at the bottom there. And then because I felt that the top and the bottom needed evened off, I actually trimmed a little bit off the bottom of the card as well, so it's not exactly the full 7 inches. And then I took a piece of cream card, and I'm going to glue this directly on there. Sometimes I like to leave that open, but I think it's maybe just a little bit delicate to do that with, so I am going to add some glue onto all of these, not all of them, but most of these little areas here, and attach that cream card in behind. This time I'd really like to paper piece these areas in some gold, and along here as well. So I've taken this die and I've just taped some gold card onto the back of it in those areas, and what I'm going to do then is add some glue into these areas and set the die on top and pop those down in. I'm sure you've seen me do that before, but you can watch as I do that as well. But I'll cut this area out first of all. I've used the bride and groom sentiment from the same die set, the sentiment one that I've been using on the other cards there, and I cut that out with gold just to mirror this gold that's on the card there. I am really tempted to add flowers and leaves and all sorts of things, but I'm going with less is more this time. There's lots of pattern already on that. I'm just going to leave it, but I'm going to have to set it aside because I want to add dots or flowers or something along this area. But there you are. I really do want to show you how just a quick couple of die cuts and a quick run through the machine with an embossing folder there can make really elegant cards as well. Now, I mentioned at the start of the video that you could put ink on this area or ink in this area and it would give you a totally different look. Now, I'm just going to do the one at this stage, but I will show you more in different videos as a follow-up to this at some stage. But if you feel that with your finger, this is the front cover, and you open it up, the flower area and the little leaves and whatnot are sunk into that. So if you were to put ink on here, it would be on the flat area. So you would get the plain area of the card, this flat part would be coloured with whatever ink you use, and then these debossed areas would be plain. I want to do it a bit like a letterpress, so I'm going to put ink on this area, and if I went straight from the ink pad with that, I might get it onto some little areas that I don't want it. I've already discovered that. So what I want to do is just ink. I know this is crazy because my ink pad is so small, but I just want to use this small one because I like it. I'm going to put that on a brayer. You can see just there, and brayer across that. That means the ink only goes in the raised up areas and it won't go in the flat areas because obviously the brayer is hard. Now, excuse the small ink pad. I do have others, but I don't want to use them for this because they're not the colour. Whoops, they're not the colour or the look that I want to use. I took that beautiful big lots of love sentiment and just cut it out in gold without any backing plate behind it and put it straight onto there. I actually glued the embossed panel onto a piece of gold card as well, but I did take the inside out of that because it would be an awful waste just to have that gold covered all up there. And then I was actually able to cut this piece out of that and still have some left. There it is, just to prove a point. That's the piece I took out of the center there. I cut that from it, and then those little holes, I have actually just taken a small hole punch. That's it there. A very, very old hole punch, might I add. And I've punched all those little holes and just glued them into the centers of the flowers, and also just a couple of little flatter areas there as well, just to bring all of that gold together on the card. And again, another very, very simple card that could be replicated in lots of different colors. If you've got if you make cards to sell, if you make them for craft fairs and whatnot, lots of love or happy birthday, just a big sentiment across an embossed area is really, really beautiful. Very, very quick and easy, but very impactful as well. As I said before, I will be definitely using these in lots of my other cards, so do keep an eye out for those. But I have been reliably told that there are lots more coming from Tonic as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing those. And I might even, whenever that all happens, I might even make a video solely on using embossing folders, because there's just so much. I haven't even scratched the surface on this, but there you are. That's the die set, the die set that came with it there, and this is the embossing folder here and here and here, the die set again, and some little embossed cards. Really, really beautiful, but very, very quick and easy. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Don't forget, if you have, give it a big thumbs up and leave me a little comment. And I shall see you again very, very soon. But my affiliate links in the meantime to all of this will be down below in the description. And thank you so, so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to do that too. And hit the notification bell. Happy crafting. Bye bye.